Good day everyone, my name is Junal Carlos Coronado and I'll be one of the representatives from our group who will be discussing our project proposal with you today. This video presentation will include a discussion of what our project is about, why our project is important, our project's background, and our goal. Without further ado, let's begin. But before I proceed, I would just like to introduce the other members responsible for the project. My group mates Althea Espinoza, Rami Pondar, Kimberly Lim, and Christian Dave Digap. So, our project is about child abandonment, with the subject to advocate or to champion the equal rights for the less fortunate or unprivileged children. As we all know, COVID-19 has deeply created a negative impact as it hits our nation and the rest of the world. Many lives were lost and so many children were left all alone and were even abandoned. To shed a light of hope to less fortunate children while developing the essence of volunteerism to the student body, we created a Project A.G.A.K that stands for Atong Giyahan ang Kabataan, which in English also directly translates to usher, give hand, and guide. If you're wondering why our project is important, we believe it's important because it will provide equal opportunities for both less fortunate children and the student body. A better opportunity for the less fortunate ones to have a right to safe space, a right to learn, and a right to be loved. This project could go a long way if support is provided. With this project, a glimpse of hope for a brighter future for the children will much likely be visible. As for the student body, we also believe that through this project we will be able to inspire more and mold more service-oriented young leaders that will create a chain-like impact on the community through their little ways as we continue to strive for the betterment of our society. Now, let us move on to our goals. The project aims to be a bridge of hope for those youngsters who no longer have the opportunity to learn, especially given their situation, as well as to address their needs, love, and learning. By the end of the term, the children will be able to write and read, as well as to become more socially active. And lastly, the shelter will be receiving more sustainable sponsorship coming from different organizations and charity drives. Following that, I'll talk about the project's mission and vision. Mission. The Project A.G.A.K is created to provide aid, help, and guide the children, especially those kids who were abandoned and are now living in a shelter. We will create a safe space for them to learn, communicate, and find sponsors with the help of the volunteers from different organizations in Cebu City. Vision. Our vision encompasses our values and beliefs that no child must be left behind. Thus, we strive to create a community where foster kids like them will be given attention, where even their traumas will be addressed, and an equal opportunity for them to learn, with the consideration of the support they needed will be provided.
What makes our project different from other projects is that it is more sustainable and is not a band-aid solution. We don't only give an opportunity to those less fortunate children by guiding them and helping them to learn and grow, but we help other children like students or even ordinary individuals to be socially active in terms of the essence of volunteerism. Through this, we can promote tolerance, respect, understand, and reconciliation to the students to be seedlings of growth that attract people's hearts and inspire lives, especially the youth, and to change the world in our own little ways. The direct beneficiary of this project are those children who are now living in streets, those children who are now abandoned, and those children who are now living in a shelter. The second is the indirect beneficiary. The indirect beneficiary of this project is the shelter. Through this, they can receive lots of opportunity, that they can receive lots of sponsorship in different donation drives. The second indirect beneficiary are those who would volunteer. Through this, they can interact different people who have the same passion in terms of helping others, which is a self-motivating achievement. Since the main beneficiary of this project are the children in streets who are abandoned and also in a shelter, then we decided that we should reach out in different organizations that specialize these things. Just like the Children of Cebu Foundation Incorporated, Cebu City Task Force and Street Children, DSWD, and the Poyon Drop-In Center, our target beneficiary shelter. Then they will be in charge of the children's well-being, safety, and welfare. We would coordinate with them and also ask their supervision and also their approval. In terms of volunteer, we would also like to ask in different schools, organizations, different strands that from other schools to engage and assist in making a beneficial influence a social through volunteering.
Project Lifespan. Our expected lifespan of the project will run from 1 to 2 years, considering the availability of the main team, which is our group, after considering the factor that we will graduate at that time. Though the project will stop at 2 years mark, we believe that the learnings we impart and the love we give to the children will create an impact for a long term. Therefore, we consider this as a more sustainable, regardless of the longevity of the project itself. What are your actions at the launching of the project? For the project to launch properly, we will first organize a symposium and invite different members from student organizations, members of student leaders association, and even NGOs, which later on will be the main target volunteers to tackle and discuss the main goal, mission, and agenda of the project. As to organizing the flow of event during the launching, we will ensure that the materials and the handouts will be ready to be distributed, and that the beneficiaries and the volunteers are present and will now be ready for the pilot launching of the project.
What are your actions during the first 2 months of the project? We will ensure the proper publicity is given to the A.G.A.K initiative to make it known to the general public. We will develop a page Facebook that will ensure be easily accessible to everyone. And we will contain crucial information such as the contact numbers of for the project's volunteers in charge if they wish to reach out to the project. Our social media sites will also include the address of the headquarters where visions and objectives are highlighted on the page. As the results of this, we will be able to gather more people. What are your actions during the lifetime of the project? We will establish a calendar of events where activities are being presented per month. This is to make sure that proper circulation of workloads are evenly distributed, and thus we can ensure a quality project. In addition, a uniform for volunteers bearing the logo and the top project's name. It will also be worn during each activities to create a stern positive impact of hope and inspiration to others. What are your actions after the project? It is always known that project like this has a life expectancy, so we would like to ensure the communication channel between the beneficiaries and volunteers will still be open. Thus, even after the project, we will still actively communicate through the Facebook page for at least 2 years after the lifespan of the project.
Now, let's go to what are your actions after the project. We in Project A.G.A.K always knew that every project like this always have a life expectancy. So that's why we would like to ensure that the communication channels between the beneficiaries and the volunteers of our project is still open. So that even though our project lifespan is done, we will still be able to actively communicate with each other for at least 2 years through our Facebook page. Also, we continue to keep interacting with the beneficiaries in our project because we believe that even though our project lifespan has come to an end, maintaining contact between us, the volunteers, and the project beneficiaries is still necessary. Next, how do you sustain the project? First and foremost, we believe that our project, Project A.G.A.K, is not just a band-aid solution project, but rather one that is more sustainable. We can say this because we believe that the lesson and the care we've imparted and shown to the children will have a great impact on them in which they will be able to apply and carry forward in their daily lives. We can also sustain it through gathering more volunteers that are willing to spare their time to help out the need of others. Finally, a donation drive is also most likely needed to cover up the miscellaneous expenses needed for our project to go on onwards.
We should always bear in mind that
A person's most useful asset is not a head full of knowledge,
but a heart full of love.
An ear ready to listen.
and the hand willing to help.
As what Steve Maraboli said, a kind gesture can reach a wound that only compassion can heal. Project A.G.A.K has the willingness, the readiness, and the confidence to help others. We have the capacity and skills to manage and to create long-term projects that would help improve the quality of the less fortunate children living in the community and to ensure that the welfare of the unprivileged children is a top priority. Always keep in mind that Project A.G.A.K is capable of helping children in need, giving shelter to the children, giving or guiding children to the right path, giving opportunity to the young ones, and lastly, giving them a secured future. I hope you get something out of this. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and have a great day to all of you.